Hi, welcome back or to Off Script, the podcast. I'm back. Actually back this time. There was a little conniption where I just so happened to post a podcast episode, then deleted it, and then restarted the whole branding and everything. And then posted again, and then I was like, oh yeah, I'll get to it. And it's been 3 weeks since then. But we're back. And this time we actually have a podcast topic. Yay, first podcast topic. Do I have any notes on here? No, because we're off script. So I legitimately just have the title and a disclaimer. That disclaimer being, the further I get into this video, I'm not judging anybody. I don't have any room to judge anybody. And frankly, I don't care. You do you. But today's topic is parasocial relationships. I'm sure everybody's well aware of that now with our online world. So let's get into it. I think parasocial relationships aren't entirely horrendous, depending on the degree. Because there's degrees. I know there's levels. Did I do that much research? I did, but do I remember it or remember to write it down? No, I did not. It's probably in my notes app, which is, again, I will say this very often, that's where you are on my little phone. But there's those degrees vary a lot. There's simple ones I feel connected to this person online, even if, they don't really know who I am. I feel like if given opportunity, I could know them. But, not enforcing it or anything. And then there's the really bad ones who start, stepping into gray areas they don't need to be in. Or stalking. I've seen that one before. That's crazy. Guys, if you like some YouTuber, TikToker, don't show up to their house. I'm sure that if you had any remote chance to be with them, you don't now. The only thing you're getting from them is a restraining order. Yeah, girl, you thought you ate. Anyways, this is my bed off to the side. So if my legs just disappear, oh well. But I think with how online everyone is, it's been really normalized for parasocial relationships to get into that gray area. Because people will go around claiming oh, this person's my boyfriend or girlfriend, and I know they don't actually believe it. At least I hope they don't. But that's when other people online can start getting in fights in the comments, oh, that's my boyfriend, my husband. Guys, they probably have a boyfriend or girlfriend they're not telling you about because you act like that. No hate though. I honestly think it's funny. I love seeing comments like that. Probably because it's not involving me. I'm sure those people feel scared. But, people commenting, oh, is that my husband? On, an edit or something. So funny. I love comments on edits in general. I got my own fair share of watching. I don't make them. I barely edit my videos, guys. I don't make edits. But, no, I like watching them. And then going through the comments and seeing all these freaks. It's so fucking funny to me. And it's community. Can't spell community without cum. St. Laurent Cowboy. Editor may hear, I know it's pronounced St. Laurent. I just apparently didn't know that when I was recording and continue calling it St. Laurent. So, don't mind me, and please don't flame me. I'm aware it's St. Laurent. Speaking of that, I actually found out about St. Laurent Cowboy first, if you guys know who I'm talking about, on TikTok. And then I realized it was Role Model. And then it was like, wait, I've never listened to Role Model's music in my life. And then I started listening to his music. And then I had like a little Role Model kick for a minute. Don't know where that went. Sorry. But, actually, Jake Shane is the reason why I felt confident enough to actually start posting on my podcast again. Because I was very, very, like, timid about it. Since, I just feel like nothing was working out. I tried all these things, but then I watched his podcast, and it's not like he doesn't have his shit together, because he does. He really does have his shit together. Love Jake Shane. He's funny as shit. But, I don't know, I like watched his podcast, and I was like, wow, he's very much himself. He's not putting on a facade or trying to act up for other people. He's himself, and I think that's very admirable. And something a lot of people should do online. Bringing back up those parasocial relationships, a lot of what you see is what they want you to see. They're not going to show you all like their flaws or, arguments in their relationship or how they act in a relationship. So all these like little fantasies you have, it's what they are. They're fantasies. And maybe one day you'll meet your idol. But I don't know. I feel like sometimes whenever they say meet your idol, don't meet your idols, sometimes you shouldn't. Because then you're going to skew your view, and then where is your comfort going? Because that's what a lot of it is. It's comfort. You're seeking some type of connection, and they are filling in that gap. Even with, filling that space, that's not wrong. Sometimes, either past situations or just like your moral grounds won't lead you to find connection romantically or, in the space that you connect with your comfort creator. It'll leave like that gap, and your standards will go higher, and you're like, shit, I don't really want anyone. And then you go and find this, I don't know, cute guy on YouTube, funny person on TikTok, and you're like, damn, I'm really fucking with this. And you should be fucking with it. That's why they have a lot of fans. Because people will be fucking with them. I just feel like people are too comfortable stepping over boundaries when it comes to parasocial-esque, situations. Because I've seen a lot of shit. And like a lot of weird things. Not a lot of weird things. I've seen a few weird things. Like there's this dude who like is always on my For You page. Well, edits of him are always on my For You page. And I've seen like a couple really weird ones where they will like zoom in on his crotch. Like, when was that normalized? It's like a dude zooming in on a girl's boobs. Like, that's fucking weird, right? Same thing whenever you're zooming in on a dude's print. Just saying. Unless, creator you watch or make edits of is comfortable with it, then, I mean, fuck yeah, go off. Eat that shit up, diva. But if, you know, they haven't stated if they are or are not, I personally wouldn't risk it. Because, like, at the same time, that's someone's anatomy. And, like, why are you zooming in on it? Half the time, you don't even know what you're zooming in on. But I'm done talking about prints and zooming in on shit. Because that's crazy. I kind of like having it like this. Like, I was so convinced that I wanted, you know, a mic holder so that I can hold it. But, like, I kind of like it just sitting there. Wait until my voice is way too loud. I'll start cackling. I'll be like, ah. 7 brew. I get a Pixie Stick Energy because that's the only thing I drink there. Since I don't... Okay, I like coffee sometimes, but a lot of the time I don't. Because I think it's too, like, syrupy. But that's also because I get a lot of syrup in it. But I do like iced chai lattes. That shit hits. And, like, vanilla chai lattes. If you haven't tried it, please. I suggest Tim Hortons vanilla chai lattes. They're my favorite thing. But you have to get light ice because they will overstack it with ice so that they can make less chai. And that shit pisses me off. I'm like, guys, spending like $6 on this large chai latte, and you guys are giving me like a small in a cup. Speaking of that, Tim Hortons cups are very small. Like, they're tiny. What is that? Like, I'm a chugger. I cannot sit and, like, leisurely sip drinks. If I have a drink in my hand, then it's gonna be gone very, very quickly. Which we still got some in here, but I also got it like 20 minutes ago while I was running errands. So I haven't had time to sit down and drink it, and I don't really have time to sit down and drink it now since I'm supposed to be talking. But if I have downtime, girl, I chug. It's bad. Also, another thing I saw is that, like, swallowing pills dry is bad for you. Disclaimer. Talking about taking pills. But, like, I take, like, my vitamins dry when I remember to take them. That's another thing. I have super bad memory, and I'm very bad about holding myself to things, which is why these episodes are 3 weeks apart. But I've been trying to get better at it. I've been, you know, doing all the lists and shit. I just can't find something that's in my face enough to remind me. And then if it is in my face enough, I have to, like, push myself to have the energy. Because very rarely do I have the energy to get a lot done in my day. Unlike today. I did a lot today. I've been productive today. Little victories. But I don't think anybody talks about how, like, costly it is energy-wise to hang out with a bunch of people. Because, like, when I went on vacation, it was 8 of us in an Airbnb for a week. And I am a person who loves my personal space, loves my, like, personal downtime. Like, my favorite times of the day are laying in my bed playing on my phone. Which sounds lonely. I enjoy it. And I'm not lonely. Ew, that sounds so corny. I'm not lonely. Girl, shut up. Fuck. But like, I feel great. I feel fine. Other than the energy thing. Guys, I'm. Um, back to our topic, parasocial relationships. I there's these YouTubers I watch, and recently they went through like a stalking situation, which I'm sure isn't their first one, and they even spoke about it. But the people who like showed up outside of their house were like faking text, and this girl went into like really grotesque detail about the one interaction they had at a meet and greet. And like, I was reading it and I felt sick. Like, I don't know how people can go about these things without feeling guilty. But that just might be me as a person, because I feel guilty for a lot of things I shouldn't. But I also feel like that's something you should feel guilty about, because that's kind of fucked. Not kind of. That's really fucking weird. Like, they were faking text, and the texts were weird. God, the texts were weird. But I'm also the one who like went through and read them because I was curious. Curiosity killed the cat, and I just so happened to be said cat. Sue me. But no, it was like, I feel bad for them, both parties, because one side therapy, the other sorry y'all. But I also feel like that's also the subtext of creators not really giving outright boundaries. Like stalking, they cannot control that. But like the texting thing, I don't know. I feel like that could have been influenced by lack of acknowledgement towards weird behaviors. But like at the same time, I get not wanting to acknowledge the weird behaviors, because you think if you don't acknowledge it, then it's going to stop. Some people take that as encouragement because they think they're getting away with it. But again, who am I to speak? I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be a creator. And I can't speak on creators, choices and whatnot. But I just feel like, personally, I'd put my foot down a little bit, be like, hey, this is fucking weird. But don't say that directly, because then the fans who weren't doing all of that will be like, oh, like, yeah, you should call that out. But like, just calling people weird is kind of rude and can be taken out of context, which is another thing. So much online can get taken out of context. It's crazy. Because there isn't really any context online. Everything's just willy-nilly. I love saying that, willy-nilly. But guys, I'm gonna get better at this trust. I'm not gonna start spitballing like I have been. I feel like this is a really controversial topic, actually. Controversial. I've been stuttering really bad recently. And not just like stuttering, I just haven't been able to enunciate. And it's been horrible. Because I work in a restaurant. And it's kind of hard to, work in a restaurant when you can't even speak. Like, I've been at customers, and it's so awful. It's horrible. Because I'm just, I'm like, girl, please. Like, I've worked there for 2 years. It's not like I'm new at it or anything. I might as well be. I act like I am. Why do people do that? Need to keep their hands busy. I want to figure that out. Because, like, I'm a person who needs to keep my hands busy. Like, constantly. And now it looks like I'm just doing it because I pointed it out. But, like, I frequently, like, mess with something. I think it's just stimulation. But how does stimulation make one focus? Because I'm also a person who has music on constantly. So often do I have music on. Like, my earbuds used to be horrible until I deleted it because only the ops were on earbuds and I was done. But my Spotify Wrapped, I was like in the 0.001% of listeners on Spotify. Top listeners. It's bad. But who doesn't like music? I know some people actually don't. That's another thing. Music. I am very diverse in my music taste, but I'm not a person to like shove everything into one playlist. I can't have music of different genres in the same playlist. I can't do it. So like I have a rap playlist, alternative rock, indie pop, indie, R&B, and like older music. Like it's a whole big thing. But I love it. It's just something about the organization because I'm someone who's very moved by music. Like, not only does the music have to be adequate to my mood, but it can also change my mood. Like, if I'm listening to some sad song, I'm crying because I always put on sad music when I cry because then I'll cry harder and I'll get it all out. But, like, if I'm crying and then some, like, rap song turns on, I'm not going to be able to cry anymore. Like, I lock in real quick. Or if I'm listening to like an upbeat song, I'll be like dancing around, having a good time. And then a slower, I'm trying to think of an example. Not Mitski. I have cried to Mitski. Death Consciousness. Have a Nice Life. Don't talk to me about that album. I can't do it. That song was like my 13th reason in 10th grade. Or ninth grade. It was one of the two. It was probably both. Oh my gosh. And then they put that song. Hey, editor May again. That song is a quick one before the eternal worm devours Connecticut. I know I keep saying that song and didn't ever actually clarify what song I was talking about, but it's that song from Death Consciousness, the album by Have a Nice Life. Don't listen to it. Don't listen to it in a car. In like my school's broadcasting program, which had like a weekly video, and they put it in there, and my ex-boyfriend was in broadcasting, and I told him about the song, and he was like, damn, this kind of sucks. And then subsequently it ends up there. Guys, I know I'm not using words right. Sometimes I just like throwing words in and hope that they land. And then I listen back to myself and I'm like, girl, do you know the definition of anything? No, I do not. It's a shocker I graduated. No, it's only a shocker I graduated because I did not go. Like, I get it during, like, COVID when everybody was not wanting to go or they'd skip a bunch of school or, their grades started slipping. I get that. I had nothing other than senior slump. And I was slumping. Like, I made sure I had been told that I passed by the end of first semester, which is 18 weeks. out of the 32, 36 weeks that we were in school, I'd been told that I passed. So I stopped going. Not entirely. I still went, but I skipped classes. Sometimes I skipped whole days. My grades slipped indefinitely because I wasn't there and I didn't do it at home. You told me I passed, so I left. And like I talked to one of my teachers after I graduated, but before actual graduation, because I was returning my physics book. It was my physics and chemistry teacher, and him and I were talking. And he was like, yeah, I figured that you stopped going because you passed. And like, I don't know, something about that conversation was just very, it felt good.